This story is about 40 years old from 1980. Kamala, a 23-year-old woman, was living a peaceful life until one day her father mysteriously disappeared. She searched everywhere, but he was nowhere to be found. Kamala's mother had passed away earlier, and with her father gone, she felt extremely alone. Despite all efforts, when they couldn't find her father, people gave up. Kamala's uncle and aunt, worried for her, arranged her marriage with Ajit, the eldest son of the Prabhakar family, so someone would be there to take care of her. Ajit supported Kamala through this difficult time, and slowly she started to feel a bit better. Kamala began adjusting to her new life and was gradually finding happiness again. Her new family was caring, especially her brother-in-law, Rajesh. But things slowly started to change. One night, Kamala woke up to the sound of someone crying. She looked around, but only Ajit was beside her, fast asleep. The crying continued, but she couldn't see anyone. She brushed it off as her imagination and went back to sleep. But from that day onward, she frequently heard those cries, which she felt might be her father's, crying out in pain and asking for help. Disturbed and frightened, Kamala told Ajit and Rajesh, but they dismissed it as her imagination, thinking it was due to her longing for her father. Gradually, Kamala's health began to deteriorate. She became irritable and aggressive, often threatening people with harm if they refused her any request. Her family thought the sorrow of her father's loss was taking a toll on her mind. But those cries continued, tormenting her day and night. One day she traced the crying sound to an old room in the mansion, where she found a dark idol. The moment she touched it, she felt a strange suffocation and heavy unease. She quickly let go of the idol and turned to leave, but something heavy hit her foot. She looked down to see a human skull lying at her feet. The room was filled with bones and bloodstains. She found a letter which warned that the idol was cursed and had caused torment to others before her. As she read it, she heard her father's screams again, and the idol began to shake violently. Overcome by a dark, heavy sensation, Kamala fainted. When Kamala awoke, she was in her bedroom, surrounded by family. She tried to tell them what she'd seen, but they dismissed it as a nightmare. They gave her medicine and helped her back to sleep. But that night, something changed forever. Later that night, Ajit found Kamala standing in a dark corner, laughing eerily. When he called her name, she turned toward him, crying and asking for help, saying, "I'm innocent, save me." Distressed, Ajit tried to calm her and led her back to bed, but her behavior continued to worsen. If anyone called her name, she would turn around and threaten to kill them. Her appearance changed too. Her skin grew pale, dark circles formed under her eyes, and she acted like a possessed person. The Prabhakar family grew increasingly worried. Kamala would laugh maniacally all night and cry uncontrollably during the day. The family believed she had lost her mind, but before they could act, tragedy struck. One evening, Kamala's father-in-law was sitting in his room when he felt a sharp pain in his back. He turned to find Kamala, laughing crazily, with her nails digging into his back. Screaming in pain, the family rushed to restrain Kamala and locked her in her room, binding her to the bed. But in the middle of the night, Ajit saw that Kamala had escaped. He followed her to his father's room, where she had cornered him, scratching and biting into him savagely. The house filled with screams, but no one could stop her. Ajit and his mother locked Kamala in the room with her father-in-law's lifeless body, realizing that Kamala was either possessed or had transformed into a witch. That night, Ajit's mother took her two sons and left the mansion, fearing for their lives. When they reached a relative's home, Ajit's mother explained that the cursed idol had claimed their ancestors as well and was now tormenting Kamala. Sometime later, the mansion was found with four bodies: Ajit, his parents, and Kamala. Their corpses were removed, and Rajesh, Kamala's brother-in-law, disappeared. People say Kamala's spirit still haunts the mansion, and anyone who dares enter meets a gruesome end, which is why it remains abandoned to this day.